Welcome to the Steve Curcio podcast, the show for men who refuse to settle. Here we forge elite bodies, unshakable minds, and bulletproof lives. I'm Steven Curcio, bodybuilder, coach, and founder of Humbled Fitness. I help career-driven men over 30 reclaim their edge, build muscle naturally, and rise to a higher standard in every area of life. This isn't motivation, it's mission. This isn't therapy, it's transformation. So if you're done playing small, get ready to level up. Be humble, be bold, be humbled. Let's get into it. Maybe you've heard this one before, but here's how the quote goes. When the pressure's on, you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to your level of preparation. And that preparation, it's dictated by your standards. We've been sold this myth. When it matters most, you'll rise to the occasion. Wrong. You don't rise to anything. You fall to the level of your systems, your habits, and your daily standards. That promotion, that race, that crisis, that moment with your kid or wife, you're not going to magically become the best version of yourself in the moment. That's Disney stuff. That's Marvel stuff. You're going to become whatever you've been consistently practicing. That's real. That's the truth. And for most men, their standard is winging it. Random effort, random results. See, high-level performance doesn't come from hype. It comes from habit. And habits are forged in the mundane. Tracking your workouts, hitting macros when no one's watching, waking up before the excuses do, turning off distraction when everyone else is scrolling. You think champions live in a highlight reel? They live in repetition. They live in the boring over and over again. Massive action isn't about some heroic leap. It's about consistency at a standard that others won't maintain. That's the pillar we're building on today. Massive action takers. It's one of our code of conduct in our business. And massive doesn't mean reckless intensity. It means relentless execution, consistency, a pace that you can handle. You want uncommon results? Raise your standards and repeat them daily. Let me tell you a story. Last year, I was in the middle of prep, dialed in, focused, or at least I thought I was, until I got hit with back-to-back travel, client emergencies, and zero routine. That week I cracked, missed 2 workouts, macros were sloppy, sleep was trash. I told myself it's just 1 week, but deep down I knew I hadn't prepared for chaos. I'd built standards for ideal conditions, not real ones. So I changed the game. I stopped preparing for the perfect day, started building systems that held, even in fire. I built non-negotiable rituals, created minimum effective workouts for hotel rooms, batch prepped meals so I couldn't make excuses, and stopped relying on motivation altogether. Now, I don't crack because the standards won't let me. Let me tell you another story. When I first started my business, almost 5 years ago, I collected my first entrepreneur money, and it gave me a high. Though I wasn't doing as well as I wanted, collecting a few grand a month allowed me to coast for 5 years. That's when I realized I had this all or nothing mentality, working 8 to 10 hours a day or doing nothing at all and sleeping in. I realized that's why I keep losing. All or nothing is code for I'm inconsistent with no standards. I replaced this chaos with systems, set days/times to train, locked in my calendar like client meetings, created a food framework, not perfect macros, but food awareness, or what I call intuitively eating. Sleep cut off at 10 p.m. Alarms not just to wake up, but to wind down. That is a secret, guys. Steal it. 4 years later, my wife is working with me full time. She was able to quit her soul-sucking job in the medical field. We go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week together. I'm able to lead not just myself, but my family better. I'm not just living in more freedom, I'm bringing more freedom to my whole family. Not because I rose to an occasion, a moment, but because I live by new standards, consistency. So here's your challenge for this episode. Audit your floor, not your ceiling. Stop chasing the best version of yourself once a month. Instead, raise your worst days. Ask yourself, when I'm tired, what do I still do? When life punches me, what do I default to? What's my minimum standard when everything sucks? Now, raise it. Because that floor, that's who you really are. You want to be the kind of man who doesn't break under pressure? Then stop pretending you'll rise. Start building a life where you don't need to, because your standards, they carry you. Massive action isn't flashy, it's daily, it's gritty, and it's non-negotiable. If today's episode woke something up in you, share it with a man who's tired of waiting for the moment and ready to start moving with power. If you want a body that commands respect, a mind that doesn't fold, and a legacy your family can feel, start living like the man you were born to be. No more waiting, no more hiding. Take action, lead the way, and remember, be humble, be bold, be humbled. I'll see you in the next one.